tools that we'll be using throughout the course. You don't have to buy all of these at one time. I'll tell you the minimum that you'll need. For example, you'll need a measuring tape for sure. You'll need a pencil. You can get away. These things are about $250. You can buy them anywhere on eBay, your local fabric store. Water soluble pens. I think I bought these for $1, believe it or not. And the ones you buy at the stores usually are $5 and $6. So I bought a couple of 2, 3 dozen of these, and I bought them for $1 a piece. And they work very, very well. I was surprised. I have a little bit of a foldable knife. I've had these for about 40 something years. I got these in Hong Kong. You can buy something similar from supply stores, the tailoring supply stores. An eraser you'll need. You'll need a thumb thimble. You'll need a toothpick knife. They call it a toothpick knife because it's got a very sharp, comes to a very sharp point. You'll see the demonstration as I'm removing cuffs from a sleeve. There's different brands, different lengths. You'll need a staple remover. You will need a staple. I would highly recommend that you search on eBay, buy the older type because they're all metal and they're heavy. And the new ones you buy at the supply stores are made from plastic and they're very light. And these, you'll see throughout the course how I use them. They're weights, basically, although there are other types of weights. This one here I've had probably for close to 40 years. It's solid brass. And I found it at a thrift store. And I think at the time, I think I spent $2 for it. You couldn't buy copper today for $2. This thing would run you $50, $60 today if you could find it anywhere. But I was fortunate and I bought it when I saw it. It's heavy. And of course, there's commercial types that you can buy from fashion supply stores or weights. I have many of these type. And so those are some of the basics. The weights, if you don't have money to buy weights, I'd suggest that you use a can of beans, whatever weight you may have, or a heavy stapler. Again, there's a needle wheel, which I use quite a bit. These will run you $3, $4 from a fashion supply. I own 3 or 4 of them. I use them all the time. But if you don't have $3 or $4, you can use a T-pen, and I'll demonstrate that when we get to using the needle wheel instead of if you don't want to spend the money or you don't have the money presently. An ice pick. This is a Japanese made, believe it or not. This one here is like $10. You can buy them at Home Depot probably for $1.50, $2. They're a little bit longer. They will do the job, but Japanese make some quality stuff, and I own quite a bit of their tools. And you may see some of them throughout the course, and I'll bring that to your attention. So these, the see-through ruler. When I bought these, I think I bought a couple of dozen of them. They were $1.75 at the time. Now they're $5, $6, $7, $8. I also recommend a see-through. This is inches and centimeters side by side, which I use a lot, and you'll see that demonstrated throughout the course. And ultimately, what I do is I have some shears. These are 10-inch shears. They make them in 8. I would say by quality. I don't recommend the plastic light type at all. They don't have any weight. I'll demonstrate why these work so well. This one here is a Mundial, which you've heard of, Brazilian, good quality. And this one here is the Da Vinci. At the time when I bought them, I bought half a dozen of them. I think I got them a great price. I think it was close to $25. I'm sure they're a lot more now, 30, 40, maybe even $50. Don't buy cheap stuff. If you see them for $2, they're not going to be worth a darn. You're wasting your money. These I've had for 30 years, and all I do is have them sharpened. Now, I want to bring up a good point. Let me make a little bit of room here and demonstrate. Here's a piece of interfacing, and when you have them sharpened, make sure that you can nip them. And the reason being is when you're following a line, you have to have total control, and the only way you can have total control is if that point is actually cutting. Now, why do I bring that up? Because here's a pair that need to be adjusted, and they won't make a nip. They're Da Vinci, they're good quality, but they got out of whack, and you'll have a hard time controlling them. So you have to make sure when you take them in for sharpening that they can cut at the tip, and make that a point with the sharpener. Whoever's doing the work for you, make sure they're nice and smooth. I would take a piece of fabric, a piece of interfacing, and make sure that they cut before you leave the store. It's very, very important. Your cutting, the accuracy of cutting your patterns and your fabric. So again, I'll state that during the course I'll bring other tools that we will be using throughout the course. And you don't need all of these to start with. You'll need maybe one see-through ruler, a pencil, a water-soluble, an eraser, a measuring tape, a staple remover, and a pair of good scissors. And for the weights, you can use a can of beans, or if you have a few extra bucks, you can buy some weights from a fashion supply store. So this is it for the tools that now, like I said, I'll introduce new ones as we go out throughout the course. And let's continue.